Okay, people. Just another few words on another subject that this case amounts to. Now, domestic violent relationships would understand exactly where I'm coming from and the victims of it. The negativity, it's your fault, you're the problem. You're fucking useless, you're this, you're that, you're the other. All the undermining, all the negative impacts, all the, when they punch you, it's you that did it, it's your fault. You're the reason that I did it. It's all the bullshit. This is what you went through. This is what I went through with ACC Crown government. No matter how many times you tried to have a meeting, to have a civilized conversation, they would always create a conflict and trying to create an argument and trying to create confrontation. I would always get up and just walk out, not even fucking raise my voice. Can't be fucked with. The threats, the intimidation. You try suffering that for fucking 20 years at the hands of terrorists and see what it feels like. And you have judges doing the same thing. These people are all a criminal entity onto themselves. And they will feed society all the bullshit under the sun. In my case, they literally took away my anonymity through their malicious criminal prosecutions. And then they've hidden away because, and they've tried to hide behind their legal fucking processes. So they're asking me to fund public-private criminal prosecutions for all the cases and all the crimes they've committed against me, over all else. So in other words, the government's funding its own crimes, its own criminalities, it's employing people to commit crimes, and then it's telling fucking society, well, he can take public-private criminal prosecutions. And we're just going to continue committing our crimes against whoever the fuck we like. No, that's not how it should work. It's not how it should be. And this is what society needs to deal with. Now, it is a life in a death sentence. It is a life of hell. It is a life of overloading one's life with all these different lines of attack. And every person that becomes involved, at every aspect that they become involved, they're not looking for a solution to the problem. They're not looking to be a solution to the fucking problem. All they do is add to the fucking problem. Because none of them are looking for a solution. They're only looking to create a conflict, to drag it on as long as they can so they can make fucking more money out of it. It's a fucking joke shop. All these people want to be paid for the pretenses of running rehabilitation or being involved in rehabilitation when they're not involved in rehabilitation. It's like telling the victim, well, this is the way it is, this is the law. No, it's not the fucking law. The law cannot be built on a crime. Justice cannot be built on a fucking crime. The running of a country cannot be built on a fucking crime, or a criminal entity, or racketeering, or criminal racketeering, as is the case, on fraudulent, corrupt business practices, which is what the government is running through the ACC. And if you took all the money that they actually spent on attacking my life and not running rehabilitation, what could they have achieved had they have spent the money looking to not be attacking my sanity, but addressing a neck injury, addressing the extreme fatigue, addressing the muscle wasting, addressing the nervous system, addressing the mountain of criminal conflicts that they create, and not addressing the injuries like my left hand. Let me say, it's losing circulation a lot of the time these days. So it gets very cold and it's got a mind of its own. The finger just lifts up whenever it fucking wants to without you even touching it. Shakes all the time. because these tendons are connected to these tendons. So literally you get no feeling up half your hand. So you can't really use it. It's just there, you know, you can use these. They're not addressing the trapped nerves. They're not addressing they're literally just holding you criminally to blackmail and ransom, and literally making sure that you have no fucking quality of life. Because there's no medical professionals explaining fuck all in the case. When you're attacking someone's sanity again and again and again and again and again and again and again, it's just criminal fucking abuse. And it's just sadism. And you know, you come to the point where you have to make a fucking decision. Well, they're going to kill me at some fucking point anyway, you know. The fucking stress will kill, if the stress doesn't kill you first. At the end of the day, you have to decide which way you want to fucking go with this. You are their prisoner, you are their hostage, you are their captive, you are held criminally to blackmail and ransom. You are being defrauded at all times through a criminally run, racketeering run system. And everybody involved in it is only interested in making as much fucking money out of it as they possibly can. So, you know, but where does the person's health and well-being come into it? Where does the person's mental and psychological well-being come out of it? Where does the freedom come out of it? Where is the solution to the fucking crimes that are being committed? The government thinks it just goes out and commits all its fucking crimes, along with all its criminally run administrations, and then at the end of it, literally shut up shop and say, well, you can take it to court or you can take it to review and appeal. Go fuck yourselves. And that's telling you straight. I am not fighting my case at my expense under your organised crime, racketeering run system, and the same people who've done me the harm and the damage and threatened my entire life and quality of life to be making decisions on the fucking outcome. In other words, there needs to be somebody completely impartial of the criminals involved, because they're terrorists, and that's how they're running this case. You know, you can't single somebody out, isolate them, alienate them, and deny them the right to be fucking heard. I mean, see, even the media deny you the right to be fucking heard. A newspaper, you ask them, you tell them a lot about your fucking case, and they're only writing up what the fucking QC has written up. You know, just another point of how the QC investigation was so fucking corrupt. But they're taking parts of the investigation that literally suit the purpose of the government and suit the purpose of this continued fucked up agenda. So, you know, that was, what was his name? I can't even remember his name. That was one reporter. Lisa Owen was the other reporter that came into the TV story, but that was only about me being in prison, just to put a negative impact on my life. And at the end of that interview, she goes, "You can't make threats to kill." And I just said, you think I care what they say? I don't give a fuck what they say, because I know it's all fucking bullshit. And it's all lies, and it's all innuendo, and it's all speculation, and it's all fucking manufactured. So, but for the media to literally try and entrap me in a TV1 news situation, it's the only time they've ever come to fucking interview me, actually. You know, over a negative fucking story. It just goes to show exactly how the media work. I think they came out to see how I would handle myself in front of a camera. And yeah, I handled myself exceptionally well, to be honest. And that's probably part of the reason why no one will come and interview me and sit there and do a proper investigation into the crimes that they're all involved in, because the entire country is run by a bunch of fucking terrorists. Where do you go from here, people? Let me just say, I'm lost. Completely lost. I know for a fact that I have to put an end to it one way or the other. I tried to put an end to it twice with 2 agreements that literally left me fighting for my life, my freedom, my sanity, my rehabilitation, and then for justice and accountability. Second time I ended up fighting for my fucking life. So, and everything else. Now, what's the 3rd agreement? What am I going to be fighting for after the 3rd agreement? They're afraid to give me a fucking 3rd agreement. They're afraid to actually sit down in front of me and answer a fucking question, because every angle they go from, they're never going to be able to fucking address it without lying, without obstructing and perverting the course of justice, without a blame the victim fucking mentality. You cannot leave a person with more fucking injuries than he started with and call it rehabilitation. Now they're trying to buy fucking time, and that's according to their own cops, after declaring their act of war against me. So when you haven't got the people in positions of power helping you, supporting you, serving and protecting, and they're the ones that are being paid to do that, and they're not doing it. So that just shows you that you're singled out, you're isolated, you're alienated, and they do it to a lot of people. And these fuckers would expect a paraplegic. They would accuse a paraplegic of fucking threatening to kill him, for fuck's sake. That's how bad they are. There needs to be something done about these people in positions of power and their fucking mental state of fucking mind. Their schizophrenic behaviours, their extremist behaviours and actions, and their use of fear and violence that is never addressed. These animals deserve to be locked up because they're a danger to society. Not just to me, they're a danger to a lot of victims. And they need to be removed from the legal system, the justice system, from ACC, from all Crown and government departments. They need to be removed and never to be allowed to be employed for even contractors of ACC, Crown and government departments. Because these people are a fucking danger to society and to their victims. You know, there's a lot of stuff running through my head that just, no matter which way it fucking goes, you're still left with one or two options. The government's not calling for a Royal Commission of Inquiry, so it leaves me with the last resort. It leaves me held criminally to blackmail and ransom so they can get away with it for the rest of my fucking life. They've taken 20 years of my life. And they're going to have to pay for it. One way or the other, they're going to have to pay for it. The question is, how did it get this far? How did it get this far out of hand? How did it get this far out of fucking control? Because the terrorist behind it was driving it that way. To cover up his own fucking crimes, and how everybody was helping him. What, was it my behaviour? No. Because I stayed quiet most of the time. Right? Or was my emails killing him? They fucking must have been. Right? They were hurting him, that's for fucking sure. They were hurting him within his industry, they were hurting him within ACC, they were hurting him within his employ. They were literally trying to get away with murder. So, what does that tell you? These people are just nothing but criminals. So, and that's what you're left to deal with. You know, they just violate and rape your fucking life and think they can keep getting away with it. Those fucking mozzies. Anyway. Yep. I don't think there's very much more to say. I think I've said all I need to say at this point in time. I think people need to realise that you're either going to demand, like you would for any criminal, you're going to demand justice and accountability against Crown and government officials, ACC, police, or you're going to support these terrorists in the positions of power to get away with the crimes they're committing. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the only people that support these people in positions of power are the criminals themselves, or their families, or their partners, or their friends, and blah blah blah, who literally haven't got a fucking clue what actually goes on against victims. So yeah, there's a lot of different aspects to it. But government just wants to keep it going because the media have never given it enough focus. The only focus has been about putting me onto these negative lines of impact and spoon feeding all the fucking shite onto the sun. 20 years of my life, people, and there's been fuck all done to rehabilitate me, and nobody's asked the questions why. A CEO who said they could never be involved in the management of my claim again, and yet everybody was in agreement to that. So Jan White needs to answer a lot of serious fucking criminal questions. But conjuring up as many malicious charges as you could as part of an act of war, that is a criminal act, and those responsible need to be held criminally to account, and all the evidence put before the jury as to what this act of war involved. And believe you me, it involved everything. Kidnapping, abuse, threats, intimidation, violence, harassment, criminal harassment. You can't declare an act of war against the victim and then tell everybody it's a fucking civil matter. You can't lie to foreign fucking governments about what you're doing in relation to the victim's rights and entitlements and rehabilitation and medical and treatment needs when you're giving the victim fuck all, but you're telling foreign governments they're getting everything they're entitled to. Those responsible need to be held criminally to account, because those are very serious fucking crimes. Those are very serious issues, lying to a foreign government, claiming that I'm getting everything I'm entitled to. Denying a victim access to foreign governments while you have them in your fucking custody. And you complain about Kiwis overseas not getting access to the New Zealand High Commission if they need help. You know, you're a fucking joke. And you're lying to every fucking person in this country. In New Zealand. You've lied to every person in fucking Ireland and the UK as well. So, how far can a terrorist get before he's actually held criminally to account for all of his crimes against his victims? I'm only one victim, but McGreevy has a lot of victims. I even know a woman who apparently the stress killed her for what McGreevy put her through. I spoke to her husband, and he actually advised me of that. He said it's the misinformation and the blah blah blah. You know, ignorance and all the rest of it. You know, he didn't want to accuse him of being solely responsible for what took place, but I'm not like that. I'll tell it exactly how it is. Fuck diplomacy. I want justice and accountability. I'm not here to make fucking deals to let some terrorist get off the fucking hook for the crimes that he's committed against me. You know? Every fucking time this bastard's got away with murder. So, somebody needs to answer for it all. Seriously. And that now comes down to Jacinta Ardern and Andrew Little. So, and Cabinet as a whole. So, I would say that they're handing me a death sentence, once and for all, as the final solution. And yeah, whatever way this goes down, they're fucked, no matter which way it goes. They have overwhelming evidence as to all the criminalities that they've been involved in. And they've literally turned the victim's life into their prisoner, their hostage, and their captive. Criminally to blackmail and ransom at all times, and fuck all to do with rehabilitation. And that's literally the bottom line, because some terrorist decided he was going to try and get rid of my fucking claim for free by trying to set me up for fucking crimes I didn't fucking commit. And he just kept doing it again and again and again and again. I mean, how many dumb fucking people is there in New Zealand? In the medical professions, in the legal profession, in the police, in cabinet and government. How many fucking dumbasses can you vote into power? How many fucking assholes can you employ to protect your crimes? You know, these are all things that I keep asking myself. You know, how much can the media cover up for these terrorists? And how long can they cover up for these terrorists? So, you know, these are all the different things that you have to ask yourself. But he's have nothing to be proud of when it comes to this case. You know, he's actually should be ashamed for how he's run a rehabilitation organisation, and you want the government to make money at the expense of your victims on behalf of society. You all want to sit there and you all want to judge the victims because you're a very judgmental run country. You know, problem is that you don't know how to judge the truth to the lies. You don't know how to judge honesty or the facts. You just like to judge people because, you know, it's like you get a kick out of it or something. Fuck that. I don't get a kick out of